Hello, everybody. It's Larry the GM, and if my dog doesn't bother you, maybe my voice will. Sorry, guys. My dog is barking a little bit. She is protecting her daddy right now. Hey, hush, hush, hush. Percy, shh. Everybody don't want to hear you. All right, let's go. Let's talk about the most important series of the season. Astros are in Seattle, and we have a great matchup. The Astros are one game behind the Mariners. That means if they sweep the series, they will be ahead, and they will all have the division all to themselves. Let's see what we can come up with when we look at this. Look at this series. All right, so Astros, as we say, they're 50-46. It's a long way back from where they started the season. The team is batting is one of the top fifth to eighth batting teams in baseball, depending on what metrics you want to look at. Well, I guess this season, the seventh or eighth best hitting team in baseball, depending on what metrics you want to look at. Pitching wise, they're still below bottom half. They're still in the bottom half pitching much for the season, but from an ERA standpoint, since June 1st, the Astros are the fourth best ERA team. Now, from a FIP standpoint, they're the 18th best. So there's still some disconnect between their FIP and their ERA. You know what that means to me. I would trust the FIP a little bit more than I trust the ERA, but that's where we're at. So, and if you're joining me, guys, for this, please so please jump over to the YouTube side, subscribe to the channel, like this video on the YouTube side, and please jump on to the Larry the GM website. You can read this article there. This is normally premium content, but I'm making it available to everybody for this series because I think this series is that important. And I want everybody to be aware of the content we have on the Larry GM website for our premium members. And if you really want to get everything we have, you can get the money makers. We have a really interesting matchup from a money maker standpoint tonight. All right, let's look at where we are from a playoff standpoint. The Astros are one game out of the division, 3.5 games back from the wild card standpoint, and you can see where the relative records are there. The overall statistical matchup in this game with the Mariners. These are two very interesting teams. The Astros are a good hitting team, and the Mariners are a really good pitching team, one of the best pitching teams in baseball. And the Astros are a bottom half hitting team. No, the Astros are a bottom half pitching team, and the Mariners are a bottom half hitting team. So, how is this going to play out? How will the matchups come out? You can see some data here lead you to some conclusions, but man, it is tight for these two teams. If we look at the batting comparisons, and we can blow this up and take a look at it. Let me pull that down. You can see the Astros, where they are from their projected grades and where they are their actual grades. Again, these numbers are getting better as the season's gone on. There's not the major holes in the Astros offense from a starting standpoint, and will get better when they get Kyle Tucker back. You can see the Mariners have some like the where they were projected to be. It was a 102 WRC plus team. Where they've actually been is 95, below average as a team. And you can see that a lot of their top hitters are the ones that are just not producing where you would have thought they would. So how does that play out? Well, we'll see. We'll see. Now, part of the things for the Seattle, and this isn't necessarily playing in the WRC Plus because it ballpark corrects, but the Mariners play in one of the most pitcher friendly parks in the majors. So when we talk about ERA, talk about OPS and those sorts of statistics, their team is going to be, the batters are going to be penalized. Their pitchers are going to be elevated by the ballpark they play in. So there is the hitting matchup. You can see the Astros again, a top 8 offense, and since Since 6-1, they're overall at our ninth best. But we spent a lot of time early in the season talking about hitting with runners in scoring position. The Astros have gotten a lot better and been really actually pretty good since June on that. All right, from a pitching standpoint, and this is the reverse story. The Astros, as an overall pitching team, are not that good. You know, they are been pitching to a 4.29 FIP. That's a FIP minus of 106, guys. That's worse than average. FIP minus, you want to be as low as possible. Projected FIP the rest of the season 4.18. You can see how, look at all the red and the Seattle Mariners pitching, guys. This is a really good pitching team. And we're getting some of the brunt of it. We got Castillo, Kirby, and Wu. Guys, look at these FIPs and these ERAs and the FIP minuses. It's just a really good pitching team. So how will the Astros bats do against that pitching team? How will the Mariners not so good bats do against a not so good pitching team? We got Hunter Brown going for the good thing for the Astros. If you have to pick the part of the rotation that Seattle's getting, they're getting Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez, two very good, and they're getting Ronel Blanco, who's been great from an ERA standpoint. The numbers here reflect his fifth numbers, which are not as earth shattering as the ERA numbers. So there you go with that. You look at the teams, the starting pitching on the Mariners is really where the strength is. 3.36 ERA, 3.63 FIP. That's the second best ERA in the major leagues as a starting rotation from starters. Fourth best FIP. You can see where the numbers are for the Astros. The bullpens are a little closer from an overall standpoint, so maybe we can get they can be patient and get some pitches on the starters and get them out by the sixth inning. Maybe the Astros can get to the bullpens. So then we'll turn, and I'm going through this really quick. The best way to absorb these articles, guys, these series of matchups, is to be a premium member and actually being able to look at the tables when I'm about to show you, and you can see how the different batters would line up with the different pitchers that are in the games, and you can see that. But here's the data, and you can see the Astros versus left-handed pitchers. You can see, again, the Astros are a better hitting team against fastballs versus lefties. It's really Chas McCormick is a surprise still. Now, these are hybrid stats. These are showing still 23 and 23 and combined with 24. I'm soon to switch that to 24 numbers, but there's still, the sample size is still a little shaky to be doing that. So we'll evaluate that and we'll look at it from an Astros pitching standpoint. You can see the batters, and here again, the Astros are a really good hitting team versus fastballs, and you can see how they match up. Now the players in blue, again, for those that haven't heard this before, the players in blue in these tables are using a combined minor league and major league statistics, with the minor league statistics being adjusted. Where the batters are at 80% and the pitchers are 120% of their statistics, so they get hit. The pitchers get hit more and the batters get hit less. But those are the adjustments that are put in here for those matchups. You can see the Astros pitchers. Again, Jake Bloss here doesn't really have enough pitches in the system to really go on, to build off of. I have to be really careful when we talk about Jake Bloss. But you can see, again, the Astros, how the pitchers line up, and see how the Mariners. You see, again, the Mariners are really good, at least the top of their lineup, or the typical top of their lineups, are a really good fastball hitting team. And you can see versus lefties, you can see versus righties down here. Basically, the whole lineup's really good versus lefties, which in the moneymaker matchup, that team that we have looks a lot like, versus Hunter Brown, looks a lot like this, where they're all, a lot of them are above average, but there's nobody that's spectacular. It's really hard to pick out the Mariner player that you think would do the best today versus Hunter Brown. All right, well there's the hitters. Here's their pitchers, and you see again how good this team is as a pitching staff. Bryce Miller um, from a ex-Woba standpoint versus lefties does seem to be hittable, but unfortunately we don't get Bryce Miller, do we? And then we got and this is the story versus righties, and you see how good these pitchers are. So we get Castillo, Kirby, and Moo, and you see the challenges the Astros will have and how good they are at pitching. You know, at least the first four. There's not Wu doesn't have off speed pitches, but you see the statistics there. All right, well there is your series guide, guys. This is a classic difference in styles matchup where we've got the great pitching Mariners versus the good hitting Astros. The Astros subpar pitching versus the below average hitting of the Mariners. How will that play out? We're looking for the Astros to be able to take at least two of these three, get into a tie with the Mariners. Hey, let's go sweep them and let's get in the first place. I believe it's the most important series of the year. We shall see how it plays out. And thank you for joining me. And once again, if you're watching this on Twitter, if you're please jump over to YouTube and like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you also can jump on to the Larry the GM website, you can call up this article. This article is free for everybody. But while you're there, subscribe as a premium member where you'll get this kind of article every series. You'll see them, understand the matchups. And if you really want the details of it and really want to be able to play the odds, you can look at the Moneymaker data and join the Moneymakers there. So, guys, thank you and have a good day. And let's go Astros tonight. It'll be a late one,